press the bell icon on the YouTube app and never miss another update.
Hello students, welcome back to your social science class. Today we are going to start a new chapter, that's India Transport and Communication. What you are going to study in this chapter is meaning and importance of transport. Why do we need transport? What is the actual importance of transport? Okay. Then you are going to study three kinds of transport: land, water and air. So under that you will study different kinds or different types of these kinds of transport. After which you will be concentrating on communication, the meaning of communication, the importance of communication and the different types of communications that are there. So basically when we hear about what is transport or why do we require transport, it's in such a way that to move from one place to another, to take one things from one place to another, we have to ferry people from one place to another. Basically you have to go here and there, you need certain kind of transport, and the transport helps you to travel from one place to another. As simple as that is what we transport is what we understand, taking from one place to another, which is an easy mode, either road, through air or through water. By air it is you reach faster. Okay. Now what we have to understand through the meaning of transport is basically transport is it's movement of goods. Now if you have some production that's being done, some is there, then services and passengers from one place to another. So you have to move your goods, you have to move any service that is there, you have to give any service to anybody. Okay, you have to move from one place to another. Other than transporting of people from one place to another or taking passengers from one place to another is called as transport. So basic definition is transport means movement of goods, services and people from one place to another. Now what happens when you use this kind of a transport is you save a lot of time, you can make use of many things that are there, your utilization of certain things is more, then you can link many things together. That is, now you have an industry somewhere, maybe you are producing certain goods, maybe in one area you are producing your goods, another area you will have to transport for distribution. So your production happens, there is distribution, you are, after you distribute you will have to also exchange with your customers, so you will have to go forward into the process of exchanging. Now these are related activities. Maybe you are producing your goods in one place, you distribute it to another place, what is happening there is transport, your traveling is happening there, and then exchange, that is it goes on to your customers, people take it and then it is done in a certain way. Now why do we need these transports? See, now there is a small statement like given in your textbook. I just read it for you. If agriculture and industries are the body and bones of a nation. Okay. If agriculture and industries are the body and bones of a national organism, transport and communication are the nerves. So basically we survive on our factor of agriculture, basic need and basic occupation. Now where is the produce of the agricultural goods going on to? For the production in the industry. Now if they both, that is agriculture and industry, are called as a national organism, then there are nerves that are connecting. Nerves that are connecting are transport and communication. Now if you have seen a neuron, like how is a neuron? A neuron is something like this, okay. Okay, I cannot draw it perfectly for you yet. Okay. Now there are certain things that are connecting. If this is agriculture and industry, certain things that are connecting them are here, all these, okay, all these. They are transport and communication, alright. Then for all walks of our life we do need transport. Either we are going through our personal vehicles or we are using the public transport, whatever it is, we are still doing one major feature, that is we are going from one place to the other. Now different modes of transport. Some modes of transports are cheap, okay, some are very costly. It depends on how you can afford to take each of these things, okay. Either you want to take the cheap mode of transport or you would like to take the costliest mode of transport, that's left to you. But what are you doing? Basically you are just moving from one place to the other. Now if there are cheap modes of transport, it can be used by many people for a lot of purposes, maybe to distribute their goods, okay, for agricultural sector, even when the people are working in the industries. So when we have to spread the market, okay, when we have to spread the market, we have to also spend a lot of money. Now when you have to spend a lot of money, that means you will have to transport your things, you will have to advertise your things. For all this you need transport, you need to travel, you need to communicate, and that's only how it goes on. With that, transport also gives you employment for those people, like people who are drivers, okay, people who are involved in the different modes of transport. Other forms, not only drivers, but see, take all forms of transport, air, water or land. So people who are operating each of these systems also have jobs there, also have work. Now you can get people to travel to your country, you can increase the tourism of the country. So various other importances of transport that is there. Now three modes of transport we are going to classify into: land transport, water transport and the airways, okay, or air transport. Under land transport we will have the roads, the railways and the pipelines that are there, the pipelines underground. In the water transport we will see inland waterways and ocean transport. In the airways we will see national and international airways. So today basically in this class we are going to focus on road transport, and all the other things we will focus in the next class. So road transport is one of the oldest means of transport, that is ancient ways of transporting. Now people used to travel through seas, yes, people have come to our land through water, yes, but on the other side you can consider the road also to be there. People in order to discover also have come through sea, people have to trade also through sea, but on the other hand also consider road to be there. And this is very universal, everybody has roads connecting from here and there, everybody has roads, people are traveling through the roads. Now it also aids in the economic growth of the country, because we will have to pay taxes, isn't it? It also aids in the economic growth of the country likewise. Now India has a lot of villages, and we are considered to be an agricultural nation, and that is why we need a lot of transport and communication here and there in order to go to these villages or bring what is there from there. Now if we have to develop our agricultural system, or if we have to develop villages, we would need transport. If you are not able to reach that place, then it is very difficult for you to locate that place or get things from that place eitherwise, okay. Now our industries, maybe cottage industries are developing, small scale industries are there. All these industries need to send their goods somewhere. To send their goods somewhere, someone must go there to bring it, isn't it? Or they must come. So connection of these roads are very important. Now roads are also very convenient if you are done it in an isolated place, if it is connecting from one city to the another, or one village or city to the village, wherever. In an isolated place also you can still build a road, but just it has to have a connection from one place to the another. Hilly areas in the forest, if you have gone to the Ghat sections and otherwise, you have trees all around and the road between them. So, you can construct the road, but not endangering any other species or not damaging the nature as well. Okay. Now, through road transport, we can aid other transports also, railways, the seas, okay, the ports and the airports, because through road transport is what, now if you think something has come through the sea, you can't bring the ship on the road, isn't it? You still need another vehicle to transport your goods. So, maybe parcels are collected from the sea there, from the railways, you can't bring the train on the road, isn't it? They also have their own modes of or ways of moving about. So, road transport is which makes it easier for them on the other hand. And then is employment opportunities, okay, you can mark that. Now, roads are divided into two types, metalled roads and unmetalled roads. Now, metalled roads are with cement, concrete, okay, asphalt, that is metalled roads. Unmetalled roads are like in the rural areas, like kacha and pakka roads, okay. Now, these mud roads that were there have been tried to make into metalled roads, okay, into pakka roads. Through what? Through Prime Minister's Gram Sadak Yojana. Through this Yojana, Gram Sadak Yojana, they have tried to make these unmetalled roads and mud roads into metalled roads that are there, or concrete roads that are there. Now, on the basis of different forms of constructions that are there and how they have maintained, then again they are classified into 5 types. But initially they are classified into 2, metalled and unmetalled. Metalled are like pakka roads, unmetalled are like kacha roads. Now, through Prime Minister's Gram Sadak Yojana, they have this initiative to convert unmetalled roads into metalled roads, that is concrete roads. Another way of classification is based on the way they have been constructed and where they have been maintained, that is classified into 5 types. First one is golden quadrilateral and super highways. Second one is national highways, third is state highways, fourth is district highways, fifth is village roads. So, first is golden quadrilateral and super highways, national highways, state highways, district roads, village roads. Now, here I want you to make the table, okay, make the table and study. Now, what is golden quadrilateral and super highways? Now, golden quadrilateral and super highways are connecting of 4 or 6 lanes, okay. Now, imagine a road like this, okay, 4 or maybe another 2 here, okay, 6 lanes connecting each other, connecting somewhere, these lanes are connecting everywhere, okay, or sometimes have you seen in the flyovers like this, these are connecting somewhere over here, okay, these roads are connecting to each other. Golden quadrilateral are connecting, it is a project of having 4 or 6 lanes. Now, this was started in 1999 and it connects the major cities that are there for various purposes. Now, when you connect major cities, it's easy for you to transport, it's easy for you to travel, it is easy for you to bring certain things, it's easy for you to do your business as well, okay. So, which other cities it links? These lanes that are there, it's linking from Delhi to Jaipur to Ahmedabad, Surat, Mumbai, Pune, Bengaluru, Chennai, Visakhapatnam, Bhubaneswar, Kolkata, Allahabad, Kanpur and Delhi. So, these are the places these golden quadrilateral is connecting, that is from Delhi to Jaipur to Ahmedabad to Surat to Mumbai, then Pune, then Bengaluru down here, Chennai, Visakhapatnam, Bhubaneswar, that is on the top, Kolkata, Allahabad, Kanpur and Delhi, okay. It is coming back, see, can you see that, Delhi to Delhi. Now, that is golden quadrilateral. Superhighways are divided into two. Now if you only make the table, it will be easy for you. So divide and study. Two divisions again in superhighways, that is the north-south corridor and the east-west corridor. Okay, north-south corridor, north-south here straight, okay, east-west here, north-south corridor and east-west corridor, that is superhighways are divided. Now in the north-south it is going from Srinagar to Kanyakumari. Okay, Srinagar here to Kanyakumari. Okay, then east-west is from Silchar in Assam to Porbandar in Gujarat. Okay. Now why it's happening like this? Srinagar to Kanyakumari is north-south, east to west is Silchar in Assam to Porbandar in Gujarat. What is it connecting on this way? It is connecting the major cities that are there. Look at the map 8. Can you see from Srinagar, Jammu, Delhi, then you have this side Jaipur, on the other side it goes to Agra. Okay, so it's connecting wherever, coming down to Bangalore, Salem, Madurai, Kochi, that side, Kanyakumari, bottom. Look at that side from the east, Lochar to Guwahati, okay, then Machilipura, Kanpur, Jhansi, down Allahabad, coming down again Nagpur, okay, it's coming down again. But if you go on the other side to the west, Udaipur, okay, Palanpur, Porbandar. It goes top, Jaipur, Delhi, Amritsar, Jammu, Srinagar. So observe the map carefully. So this was north to south, east to west, that is superhighways. Now why is it this done? This is connecting the major cities and this is connecting the important states that are there, okay, important ports, important industrial sectors. Now who maintains the roads is the Central Public Works Department, CPWD. Okay, CPWD, that is Central Public Works Department, looks after the maintenance and construction of the roads, that is CPWD, Central Public Works Department. PWD department is what we have heard, Central Public Works Department. Okay. Moving further to the national highways. Now these roads connect the state capitals that are there, they connect the towns, they connect the cities, they connect the ports which are of national importance. Now, okay, if you go to page number 101, you can see the major ports that are there. So these national highways that are there, they connect the capitals in the state, they connect the ports, they connect the major towns that are there, which are all of national importance. National areas are there, all are connected to the national highways. We say, isn't it, NH, so NH, that is NH1, NH2, the national highways. Now who looks after the national highways is NHAI, National Highways Authority of India. National Highways Authority of India, NHAI. Now they look after the maintenance of the national highways. Don't get confused with golden quadrilateral and super highways and the national highways. Next is the state highways. This is connecting the district headquarters, okay, and the state capital and other national highways that are there along with them. State highways are connecting the state capital the district headquarters and the national highway. This is maintained by the state public works department. State is state, national is national. State public works department looks after the construction and maintenance of these roads. Next is the district roads. We have every district, everybody belongs to one district. We have the district roads also. Now these district roads are, who is in charge? The Jilla Panchayat. The Jilla Panchayat is in charge of these district roads that are there. Where do they connect? They connect the railways, they connect the state highways and the taluk that you belong to. Next is the village roads. Village roads are maybe mud roads also, okay. Village roads connect to the market, local markets, they connect to the next town that is there, okay, and any point, center junction that is there. Now these are unmetalled, that is what I told you, mud roads that are there, they are kacha roads that are there, and very difficult to use them during rainy season. If you have gone to the villages, there is a mud road, if there is a mud road, then it is very difficult to travel at that place because the mud becomes too wet at that time and you cannot walk on it. Now everything under this Gram Sadak Yojana by the Prime Minister's Gram Sadak Yojana, they are trying to convert into from Kacha to Pakka roads, but it's still happening, it's still going on, and everything takes time. Next is border roads. Border roads are borders of each states, okay. Now these borders are used for defense purpose and that is why they are called as border roads. So borders of one state to the another or borders from one country to the another. Now Indian borders, we share our borders, or Indian borders are with Pakistan, Nepal, Bhutan, Bangladesh and Myanmar. And this construction and the maintenance goes onto the Border Roads Development Authority, okay. Border Roads Development Authority. Now how do you make a table for this is, I will tell you, railway transport will go into the next class, but make only road transport today. On the top write road transport, okay. And then after that put your serial number, put the different kinds of roads, golden quadrilateral, national, state, district, village and border, okay. You will get 6 of them, yeah, 6 of them. Now next column you write 4 to 6 lanes, then next column you write where is it connecting, major highways and cities. Next is after that it is done, okay. When it was started also you add, because others it is not given, so others will all come X, wrong mark. Then next write super highways, then write its divisions, north to south, east to west, then north to south from where to where, east to west from where to where, okay. Then who controls or who looks after it, okay, CPWD. Then next is national highways, where does it connect, next column, who looks after it, done. Wrong mark for when it was started. Again state highways, follow the same thing, then write district, write village, write border. I want you to do it today itself, don't delay. Today itself, as soon as you finish the class or in the evening when you have time, I want you to do it, because if you do it today and keep, you need not worry about it the next time, alright. So railway transport we will see in the coming classes, and we will also divide that and go. I want you to make an observation on page number 98, that is the map that is there. Look at the different places that they have given, maybe you may have marking, okay, you may have marking about certain highways that are there. So please have an observation there. Please have an observation there too, alright. So okay students, thank you very much for listening. We shall meet soon in the next class.